Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Giselle from Enchanted. We're going to make two changes from what you see here. One will be to add another set of blue bands right in this area. And the other thing we're going to do is try and make the face a little bit rounder and tighter. Otherwise, we're going to stick to this pattern. And for this, you're going to need orange or caramel bands for the hair, skin tone, pale blue, white, and for the eyes you can use blue bands, white beads with the pupils drawn on, or you can use a couple of small beads, which is what I'm going to do. So let's start with the arms. We're taking a single band, skin tone, wrapping it 2 times onto the hook, and we're going to place it onto 9 doubled over bands. So there's one, we've twisted it onto itself. Bring your first band over, and repeat this 8 more times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, which will give us our total of 9 doubled over bands. And we'll do our second arm, same thing, single wrapped twice, pulled onto another 9 doubled over bands. Eight and 9. We're going to come to the loom now, and we come down the center 2 times with skin tone bands, top center peg to the second peg down, and 1 more time. And we're going to take 2 skin tone bands and come from the second center to the second right, 2 from the second center to the second left. Sorry. Now from here, we're going to switch to blue in the middle, and we'll come down 3 times with double blue, starting from the 3rd peg. It's 1 set of doubles, 2 sets, 3 sets. And on either side, we're going to place 1 set of double blue bands. Like so. And we're going to make, before we go on, we'll make our puffy shoulder piece. This is a technique from Tutorials by A. She does this on some of her princesses, and it looks really nice. We're going to take a dress colored band, wrap it 3 times, and pull it onto 2 blue bands. You can put it over 1 if you want. I just want the added puffiness. I'm doing it over 2. We're going to place that from the top peg on the side to the second peg on the side, and repeat it on the other side. So again, single wrap 3 times, pulled onto 2, stretched from the top to the second one. And now we're going to go down the sides of our looms 5 more times using double blues. I believe it's 5. Let me just double check that for you. Maybe we're going to switch it sooner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want 5 in total. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm looking at my design pictures here, and I have my extension over the whites. Makes it a little bit harder to see what I've done. But we'll get this sorted out here. 2, 3, 4, 5, and we want to reach to the 7th peg down on the side. And now we're going to finish each of our rows going to the bottom with double white bands. This is for all of the remaining pegs. It just occurred to me, I forgot to mention, there is one other color that you will probably want to have here, but we only need a single band, and that is a red, because we're going to make the little flower, the little embellishment there on her dress. We'll add that on in just a second. Okay, so come back up here. We're going to go to our 4th peg down, and we're going to take a single red, pull that second set of blue up, and wrap your red 2 times. And bring those blues back on top. Now you can put your arms on the sides. These go onto the second pegs down on either side. And don't worry about the puffy shoulder pieces just yet. We'll fit those on when we're looping up. Let's add our holding bands. We're going to take 2 bands for our bottom triangle, stretch it across the bottom 2 pegs, and raise that all up over the middle bottom peg there. For the rest of our dress, we're going to be coming up with double whites, but hold on when we get near the top here. Stop at the blue. We're just using single whites and creating triangles. So we'll do 2 more. And now we grab our blues and we're going to come down a single triangle from the 3rd peg to the 3rd peg, another single, and this last one is going to be a doubled over single. And if you can make it a little bit tighter, all the better. So we are ready to loop our body. We don't need any feet on this one because she has her long dress. We're coming down to the bottom of the loom, and we can loop up. We'll loop up our sides first. So get under this triangle band. We're going to find the bottom 2 bands, bring them up and over, set it on to that second peg from the top, go inside, push back the triangle band, everything else, and we loop straight up all the way until you reach the arm. Okay, before we loop in this diagonal piece, we're going to pull this blue puffy shoulder off and place it onto the second peg down. So just bring it down and over, find these 2 bands, you can pull them to the side if it helps you, and we're going to scoop those up, reach them over to the center. Let's do this all again for the right hand side. Bottom 2 up, next 2 up, go straight to the top. Now we're going to add an extension for the sides. It'll make this a little bit puffier and it'll give us the blue on the edge. For this we're going to need our dress color bands, and we're going to take one, wrap it twice onto the hook, and we pull it onto 8 sets of double blue bands. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now the bands that are on your hook, there are 4 pieces to it. That's going to go onto your 6th peg down from the top. So it's the second last one. It's the peg where we placed our last blue bands. We're going to take the piece that is right above the wrapped band there, and we pull this onto the peg at the very bottom on the side. So not the actual cap, but the next one. From here we can grab a piece out of each set and slide it over the corresponding side pegs. And one piece ought to do it. And we'll repeat this on the other side in just a minute. And one more. Okay, let's make our next extension. Single wrap twice, and we pull it onto another 8 sets of double bands. Alright, last one. Again, we're putting this on our 6th peg down on the side. We're getting inside the end, not the cap piece, but the next piece. If you stretch it out a little bit here, your cap piece is just going to be on the bottom. And we pull this over the bottom peg. Grab a piece out of each of your sets of the chain here. Pull it over. I'm going to turn this way, maybe get a better angle here. Let's loop up our sides. We're going to go all the way up to the arm, and all the way along you'll be finding and pulling through your bottom 2 bands. So they're right up to here, and then you're looking for the blues. Push everything else out of the way, get those bottom 2, lift them up and over, and repeat. Just hold on when you get to the arms, because we have one more quick step before we loop those in. I feel like whistling. I've got music stuck in my head. I've been hearing a lot of good songs lately, and they keep sticking, so it's probably affecting my concentration here, but got music in the background that only I can hear. Alright, once you're at the shoulder piece here, which is your 2nd peg down, we're going to take the puffy sleeve, pull it down and over that 2nd peg. So it's just sitting on top. You're going to have a lot of bands here now, but we're going to connect them all by grabbing these 2 and bringing them up. Pull that to the side a little. And loop over and inwards. We can come up the other side, going for your bottom 2 bands only once more. And switch to the blues from the bottom here. Stop at the shoulder. We're going to pull the other puffy sleeve piece back down. Place it on top. Get those diagonal bands and bring them inwards again. And we're going to loop up the middle, but you're going to stop when you get to that 4th peg down where the red piece is sitting. So grab your bottom 2 white bands and just bring them over and come straight up until you get to that red peg. Now we're going to push this triangle band out of the way. And you're going to, make sure we can see this here. You're going to reach your hook underneath your blue bands, go inside and take your red bands and pull them over the top of your peg so it sits right on top of those bands. And then we will loop right up to the top of the loom. Bottom 2 bands only. And carefully remove. Hold on to the bands on the top peg because those will come off last and those are going to sit on your hook. Let's go in at the top on this side and take these ones off. You can see we always go from the top downwards, otherwise you're just going to get more and more pieces caught on your hook or in your loom, just like that. Let's go back to the top, ease some of these off. Should be ready to remove just about. Put your hook through the neck piece, those top skin tones, and pull it off. So there is our body. You can give it a little stretch and you can hide or secure any loose bands. We're going to start our face, our hair and our face, and we'll go from there. Double bands of your hair color, top center to the top right, top center to the top left. Come down once in the middle, 3 times on either side. Double bands of your hair color. Get your skin tone bands, and we're going to come down twice in the middle. And to get a rounder face from what we have here, if you like this, you're going to come down 1 more and then bring in sets from either side. What I'm going to do is make the face a little bit smaller and come up from the sides diagonally. So we'll give her more of a heart-shaped face. Now we need our crossover bands, and those are going to be doubled over singles. 1 skin tone doubled over. Bring it from your 3rd peg to your 3rd peg and over your 3rd center peg, and repeat that just above. I'm going to do beads for the eyes, as I said, so we'll get those ready with a piece of dental floss or a thin wire. Mine have really small holes, and this is a technique I've seen on Kate Schultz's channel. It helps get the beads onto the bands much more easily. You put your thin piece through the band, flip it over, and come back from the other side. And these are both going to go in the same band. If you're using a different kind of bead or you're using bands for the eyes, You're just going to get them so that they sit on that one band together. This comes from the second peg to the second peg. Get your finger or your hook in between those eyes. And we're going to pull them apart a little. Get your hook into the band right in the middle. And I do need my small hook one. And we're going to pull one piece of this over the peg below. Like so. Let's get our hair chains ready, and we'll add those on while we're looping, and then we can put our body on. So hair chains, take your hair color, take a single, wrap it twice, pull it onto 5 single hair colored bands. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do 1 on either side, but you can do two on either side if you want it to be thicker. So as I said, I'm just doing 1 for each side. That makes total 2. Here's the second one, wrap a single twice, pull it onto 5 single bands. And 5. I should also mention, if you want your chains to be longer, you can, like longer than this, you can always add a couple more bands. It's up to you. So this is ready on your hook. It could be on a different hook or your one which holds the body. You're going to take the bands for the body, for the neck, the ones on your hook, and put those on the 4th peg down in the middle. Now I'm going to pull the whole body down here so that the neck sits over the piece below, and that way you can see what I'm doing. We take the top 2 skin tone bands, bring them to the side. The next 2, bring them to the side. Loop straight up the center, but watch that you don't grab the band holding the eyes. Now we're going to take a chain from the hair and place that onto the 4th peg down on the side. Get underneath, loop up your bottom 2 orange, and loop straight to the top on your left side. Push back your holding bands again. And we can loop inwards, the last 2 inwards when we get there as well. Put your other chain in place on the right. You can push your bands down a little bit so it doesn't pop off, or put your finger on top. Get your bottom 2 bands. Mine are getting mixed in with the hair bands here. Have to pull that to the side again. And loop up. And loop in. Take a single hair colored band, slide it up through the bands on your top peg in the middle, pull one end over the other, and remove from the loom. Okay, give everything an adjustment. Can stretch your hair to the side, hide your securing band in the back, pull it under some of your bands and put it onto a C-clip. And to make the hair sit in place, we can come through from the back on the side where you'd like it to fit. So go through a blue piece or 2. Maybe we'll do this a little bit lower, closer to the waist. Go through the end of your hair chain, take an orange band, put it on, pull it through, and bring one end over the other to create a slip knot, and this can sit on the back. We'll do this for the other side. I'm actually just gonna keep my hook where it is. Come through the blue, grab the hair chain, bring a hair colored band through. And close. You can do these separately or whichever, or together, and secure it when you're ready. So we're going to hide this under a couple more bands. As I said, I've stretched it across so the back isn't as neat here, but you can always do them as on the two different sides. It'll look just fine. Secure it under another one, and there is your Giselle. Thank you for watching.